Hello, how you doing today again? Welcome to another episode of TDM Eskimo Mobile, your mobile tech guy. So today, I'd like to talk about Collabora Office and how I believe it's the leading Android FOSS Office Suite. Collabora Office has so many PC desktop features that outdo the rest of the free and open source software on the Android platform. So let's get into them. First, I'd like to recap some of the things I've talked about in the past video. Like the tab up here with the ribbon. And the tab with the collapsible ribbon, we go to View, and we can collapse the ribbon. Not that it's not there, it's just been collapsed until we click on the tab again for the ribbon to come back. And then there's the compact view. From time to time, this becomes my favorite view because there's so much real estate space on the screen being saved as I work. But for today, I'm going to use the tab view. And I've talked about the quick access menu items on the top for save and doing the sidebar and the navigation. And last, I've also covered the status bar at the bottom of the document work area 2. Like I'm on page 1 of 2, as you can see on the bottom left here. Oops. I'm on page 1 of 2. I typed 761 words with 4,288 characters. Whew. And last, we also covered on the status bar and how we can change the view just by clicking on the button on the status bar. So there are cues that development of the desktop application on the platform, Android platform, is here. Let's get a little deeper. Under character, here in the sidebar on the right, we can change the font settings more than the settings on the ribbon. So like we could, if we wanted to highlight a character, a font, and then do a shadow. So now you can see that there's a bit of a creativity with shadow bar being shadowed that you can't do on the top ribbon. But we can also click on this box here where the arrow is. More options for character. Basically the font. You can have font effects. You can include the shadow. You can hide it. You can outline it. Do a strike through. There's many more features that you can do with the character, including rotating it 90 degrees or 270 degrees. Some things are better done in a text box because if done improperly, you could affect the paragraph, the document. So yeah, some things are better done in a text box. This way you only affect the text box and not the paragraph or the whole document by accident. And then if we go to the style up here on the sidebar, we can do the same. These are all the styles that we can have, or we can pretty much create our own style. If we go to format and style, style list to the right now has changed in the sidebar where it shows all the pre-defined styles that the Collabora Office has. You just gotta click on these arrows to expand them, right? Now the arrow's pointing down, so it's been expanded. If we click on it again, the arrow changes direction, so now we see it's collapsed. So there's a lot more we can do with styles if we want to. I like my sidebar back. And then here, under paragraph in the sidebar, there's even more settings. We can affect the spacing and the indent. Whereas up here in home, there are some spacings and some bullets and some, what do they call it? Increase indent or decrease indent. So there are some things we can affect, but we can also manually do it in here as well with these, or with the space in here as well. But also under paragraph, you can see the U under more settings. You can see the U. Let me get the cursor there. There we go. Display drop caps. And it even shows the U. I could even change that from 3 lines to 2 lines if I wanted to make the U smaller. So there's a lot of capabilities with Collabora Office on the Android platform. The navigation gives you an outline view of your headings. And those were the predefined headings that we saw on the style list under form. Format and style list. So like I click on introduction, it just brings me back to that heading style. I click on closing, it brings me back to that heading style. So you can navigate the document as you create and finish for the end user who's going to be looking over this document. So there's quite a few rich features in Collabora Office. Under references, you can create endnotes, footnotes, cross-references, bookmarks as well. I can't remember the last time I used a footnote or anything like that since school, but you can. There's also a lot more things I don't know about, like under form, drop down. Checkbox was kind of easy to figure out. So inserting a picture or a date field, this Dropbox thing's got me stumped. If anybody knows anything about it, put it in the comments. But I do feel playing with it, it's like in spreadsheets, if you have like a, for lack of a better word, a dashboard spreadsheet, and you want to put a Dropbox in it, and then have a second spreadsheet where it has all the values, and you just highlight the values you want. When you create that drop-down menu on the spreadsheet, all those values will appear. That's a guess, but I don't know. So if you have an idea, make it in the comments. I'd appreciate it. Maybe it's a bug for Collabora Office. I don't know. because it almost reminded me, because since it's based on LibreOffice, I went and checked the same thing out on the LibreOffice, and it worked there, but not here. So in closing, you can do more than write a letter, create notes, checklists, or a flyer. Seems you could write a report with all the references. This is definitely more than some of the free software available for the Android platform. Does it have Docs Beat? Yes. Does it have Android Word Beat? Yes. Does it have Windows Word Beat? No. It seems we're in a space between what developers on the Android platform want to dictate or say we can and can't do, as compared to what is actually capable of doing. There's one of my favorite pay office suites that can do what's called text art. It's like a word art. So Android can have these applications do what you find on a Windows PC or a Mac PC, maybe even a Linux PC. You can. It's possible. I think the question is the price point. Would you pay the same on an Android application as you would for a Windows application? Because the development can happen. Sometimes I also feel it's the users who don't see Android as to fill that mobile gap. Oh, let's buy a Windows or Apple laptop. We gotta go mobile. Why? When developers are convinced we will pay the price point that it deserves, that's when development gets better. What I'm saying is, when you find the Android platform or the iOS platform, iPadOS, as a replacement to your Windows or Apple laptop, that's when development on the Android platform and other mobile platforms will get better. And it's growing. We have Samsung DeX that I use. We have Motorola Smart Connect. We have Pixel with the Android desktop now. Google's saying they're going to release a Google Book that's for Android applications. India, since 2023, has the Prime Book with Prime OS based on Android. It's growing. SoftMaker with the Office NX on Android, called Office Text Maker, Office Plan Maker, and Last Office Presentation, has the exact same features and functions on the Android platform as their application does on Windows, Apple, and Linux application. I know because I have a Linux version of this Office NX on the Android platform. They proved it. The development can be done. Yes, this document was created on Collabora Office on my Android mobile application. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.